Yo, what's up? It's SNT and you're watching episode 26 of the Bike Show. This is the weekly series where we check out some of your amazing bike builds that you have submitted to the email address that's down in the description and on the screen right now. Before we check out the amazing bikes that you guys have sent into the show and today's episode, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss a future video. We make a lot of bike life stuff and cool builds and whatever. Hit the red subscribe button, turn it gray and join the squad. But now let's check out the first bike of today's episode, which is a 88cc Yamaha DT50 from Norway. This bike has gone through a huge transformation both visually and in terms of performance. So if we start with the engine, it is built with a Airsoil Extreme 88cc cylinder, 45mm racing crankshaft, 32mm Mikuni carburetor, top performance V-force reed valve, top performance intake manifold, match ported crankcases and a Yasuni R3 exhaust, and with this setup it makes about 25 horsepower on the rear wheel. Now let's move on to my favorite part of this bike, which is the appearance of this bike, the visuals, the looks, and how good this bike looks. I think we can appreciate that. So he painted pretty much every single part on this bike to make it fit the black, grey and fluo orange color scheme he has on this bike. And then he got a custom graphics kit on top to make it look so much better than it already did. It really complete this build with that graphics kit. And this is easily one of my favorite bikes we've had on the show, both in terms of performance and in terms of visuals. It just looks really good overall. But sadly, judging from the pictures, it looks like you got in an accident and totaled this bike, which is not fun to see. So hopefully you're all good and hopefully this bike will be able to be saved. If not, good luck building some badass bike in the future, because I know you got the eye for the looks and everything. I know you got what it takes to build a badass bike. So hopefully you figure this out and get a cooler bike in the future or rebuild this bike. But thank you so much for sending it in to the SNT Bike Show. Next up we have a 2011 Husaberg 250 two-stroke Supermoto from Finland. When he bought the bike it was pretty boring and in rough condition, so he decided to rebuild this bike and put his own touch on it. So he stripped the entire bike down and started rebuilding this bike and rebuilt the engine and all that kind of stuff. And some of the stuff that are done to this bike includes a Bills Pipes cone exhaust, which I've never heard about before, but it looks so cool. Both the muffler and that exhaust just looks so badass. I think nothing can beat a 250 or 300 two-stroke exhaust with the bend out there and it goes out the big. It just looks so good with a 250 exhaust. And this, when we have the welds and everything, it just looks so nice. And this muffler as well, it's really clean. So this is a really nice choice and something I will definitely keep in mind when I'm building a bike like this in the future. Then he also has some blue radiator hoses and some other blue bling bling parts. Ported the cylinder for more power. Black and gold fork strings and a crazy custom blue and gold graphics kit to really just tie this bike together and make it as cool as possible. If you ask me, this is one badass Supermoto build. It just looks so cool. I really like it when you have the dark color scheme, then you have a couple colors that pops a lot. This bike is really dark. If you look at it, it doesn't really scream you know the normal Supermotos when you have a really bright color in the base and it's just a lot of color. I really like it when you do the opposite, when you keep it low key but still have some colors that pops a lot. For example, this guy has the black and gray base and then he has the blue and gold colors that pops. It just looks really good and fits this bike perfectly. And this gets me really excited to save up for a bigger CC bike like a 250 or 300 two-stroke and build a crazy Supermoto. When I see stuff like this this bike is just so nice and I really like it a lot. It just looks so badass and I get really inspired to build my own big bore two-stroke Supermoto right now. So maybe that's something that's coming in the future when I get a little bit more money. It's always really fun to see when someone does a nice Supermoto build. This is really well executed. I like it a lot. Everything from everything just looks really good on this bike. I don't really have anything else to add than good luck moving forward, and thank you so much for sending it in to the SNT Bike Show. But before we check out the other amazing bikes you guys have sent in for today's episode, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to leave it a like rating and subscribe to the channel and join the squad on the road to 100,000 subscribers. But now let's get back to the video and check out the third bike of the day, which is a Rieju MRT 50 from Bermuda, which is crazy to see a bike from overseas. in like the middle of the ocean on this show. It's just so cool to see. So of course, following the trend of this episode, this bike has had a huge glow up from when he bought it to the point it is now. It's gone through a huge transformation and it looks really good. And some of the things that are done to this bike include a KTM EXC 500 headlight, Nike bars with a rental bar pad. I probably mispronounced the bars, but hey, it's all good though. 3D printed ignition cover, stage 6 seat cover, powder coated the frame and wheels, and a homemade graphics kit. And it also has a few performance mods to this bike, which includes a Athena 50cc cylinder, Polini 21mm carburetor, MVT inner rotor ignition, and a Voca Rookie cross exhaust. It's a really cool bike and I really like the white, blue and gold look you have going for it. It just looks really clean and fits this bike perfectly. And can we talk about those wheels? The white wheels just look so good. I think it's either a make or break. White wheels can look kind of odd on some builds, but if it's done right, like in this bike right here, the white wheels just look insanely good. And that's a great option for this bike. It just makes everything just look a lot better. I really like the white wheels. It just works perfectly together with the rest of the bike, with your homemade graphics kit, with the gold upside down forks, and it just fits this bike perfectly. And having a bike like this in Bermuda must be so much fun, like going around. It's just, I don't know, it just seems like a cool place to have a bike like this. And yeah, it's always cool to see a bike build from overseas on the show. So yeah, it's really fun to see this bike on the show. But overall, it's a really cool bike. I really like it a lot. You did a great job with it. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Then thank you so much for sending it in to the SNT Bike Show. Moving on, we have a 2015 Husqvarna 2-stroke Enduro 125 from Sweden. He bought the bike as a normal Enduro bike, nothing special there. And then he slowly started to modify this bike into the beauty it is today. And now 1 year later, it's a really nice Supermoto build. So some of the things that are done to this bike includes a set of 17-inch XL Supermoto wheels, KTM EXC headlight, ribbed seat cover, polished exhaust, and a clean graphics kit to pull it all together. I've personally ridden this bike with both the MX wheels with like street tires and the Supermoto wheels, and I can say it made a huge difference going from like the small MX wheels with the street tires to actual Supermoto wheels with Supermoto tires with some nice wide tires on those rims. It just feels so nice, and this was definitely a good addition to this bike, and you have definitely done a great job taking care of this bike and making it a really nice, well kept Supermoto build. And I really like it. I really like it a lot. Everything on this bike just feels right. And it's just such a cool bike, and you've done a great job with it. I don't really have anything else to say than this is a really nice Supermoto. Thank you so much for sending it in to the SNT Bike Show. Last but not least, we have a 2017 Beta RR 125 Supermoto from Finland. Breaking the trend of having a clapped bike to begin with, this bike was actually pretty nice when he bought it, but he still wanted to put his own touch on it and make it truly his own bike. So some of the things that are done to this bike include a Scalvini exhaust with a carbon fiber Scalvini muffler, a fluo yellow wrap on the wheels to give it a 50-50 look, and also has a pattern on there to make it look a little bit more aggressive and cool. And then also has a WOB design fluo yellow seat cover, smoked the indicators, painted the swing arm, and a custom black and fluo yellow graphics kit to really make it like his own bike, and a fluo yellow Beta RR. The only thing I would change are the red grips. They don't fit the fluo yellow and black color scheme you got going on this entire bike. They kind of stand out a little bit too much, so I would highly recommend getting some fluo yellow grips. For example, the Circuit IV4 that I have on my KTM EXC 125. They were on there when I bought the bike, and I really liked them a lot. They're really nice to ride with, and they look good as well, and would fit this bike perfectly. So if you need that, like, check it out. I think they're on 24MX or something. Circuit IV4 grips, fluo yellow, get it on this bike and it will be perfect. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to add. Thank you so much for sending it in to the SNT Bike Show. But that was the 5 amazing bikes on this week's bike show, and if you have not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss any future videos. I'm making a lot of bike lifestyle content with my KTM EXC 125. We're doing wheelies, we're doing cool stuff like that. And I also have some really cool stuff coming up for that bike, which you do not want to miss. It's gonna look a lot better really soon. So if you have not already, make sure you hit the red subscribe button, turn it grey, and join the squad on the road to 100,000 subscribers. But that's pretty much it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, it's been SNT, and I'll see you in the next one.